what a brilliant, rich discussion that we've had so far from our panel. But I'm going to start off with inviting anyone to say, do you have any burning questions we wish to ask? Yes, please. Ambassador, wonderful. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much for the opportunity to just make a few comments. And at our CARICOM Caucus of Heads of Mission, I have my colleague here with me, Clark from Barbados. We had 2 more last night, but they had to leave. We value very much relationships with the universities. CCI is very important to us. And now, one of the things I wanted to stress is the importance of partnerships where we have research students coming and embedding themselves among our nationals, among our experts, not only to build capacity, but to actually help us solve some of the problems that we are facing with respect to coastal degradation and all the other issues. Our Prime Minister, when he spoke at the UN, he said, recently, he said, whenever the sea level rises, the north drowns. Whenever the burns, we in the south, we cough. And it shows the relationship between north and south. And these kind of relationships, strategic as they are, help us to actually take care of our issues and challenges. One comment regarding the geospatial, it's very vital for us because if we would like to, for example, find possible UNESCO World Heritage sites, we don't have to cut down the trees. So we are already achieving an environmental objective, environmental sustainability, and then we can score points on our tourism and UNESCO designation. So that is one area which we would like to advance with our first presenter who dealt with the LiDAR. It's something we're already looking at. And then we would also like to have capstone projects where university graduate students can actually come and help us find the solutions. The geoengineering, that falls, that has the likelihood of falling prey to misinformation and disinformation. So I'm happy to hear your side, and just because people can be skeptical and say, well, these weather phenomena are being caused by man, cloud seeding, and all of these other practices, which are groundbreaking, to use a pun intended. But you can fill the gap by providing information and cause us to open our minds. So I want to thank you very much. I'm like a kid in a candy store. It's this type of intellectual stimulation is highly stimulating, and I welcome it. And I look forward to interacting more with you. Thank you very much, President, for providing this opportunity for us to engage at this level.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Ambassador. Much appreciated. Do you have a question? Oh, please, do ask the question. I had a backup in case.
So this is for KN, the simulator model that you showed. Can anyone access and use that? And have you and anyone else at George Brown considered or currently using the simulator to perhaps go into various communities and just do workshops and simulate? Well, that's your question? Sorry, I stole her question.
That's fine.
How do you turn it on? Is it on? Okay, thanks. Yes, the simulator is open. It's available to everyone to use. There's even opportunities for workshops for you to learn how to use it as well. Periodically, there are workshops online. I do want to expose it more to more people, and that's one of the reasons why I chose that topic for my presentation. Because, as I said earlier, what I did in just that short time, there is so much more to it. And it really gets people really talking about, what are the possibilities, and be even more capable of expressing what it is they would like to see as a policy objective in going forward, right? So they definitely be able to increase their knowledge. But yeah, of course, I'm quite interested in showcasing it some more and having more discussions around these different solutions that are possible and what the simulator has to offer. All right, thank you.
Wonderful, thank you. And I'm going to ask now, unless we have any questions, I just wanted to ask around the back. Where can I? Oh, wonderful.
Thank you very much. As a physicist, I really enjoyed the talk for today. It was great. But thanks to all the panelists. I have one question regarding the vulnerability, which you actually explained through your model. And you just briefly mentioned that one of the challenges is that having enough data. And I think I wanted to know what is your view and the people are as a policymaker in terms of having that enough data, because in some countries this is a big challenge, that to have the right amount of data, especially when it's come to vulnerability. If you don't have those kind of data, then any prediction is not going to be reliable. Is there any thought or comment on that, and how we can actually work on that in an international level or in national level, that to have a really clean set of data related to that vulnerability factors which you just did a study? Thank you.
There can never be enough data. All data can be analyzed. It is all vital, but in terms of recommendations for policymakers, we encourage highly that partnerships between states, institutions, universities, and organizations to grow and share as much information as possible. I know throughout the development of our progress on our research, we did come across roadblocks due to some places just not having their data openly accessible for us to play with it. So we, towards policymakers, we would highly encourage for the investment of open research, and then openness regarding any information that you have collected, because all of it can be highly useful in determining vulnerability. And of course, you can always, there can be more monitoring stations, more censuses, anything like that. And I know a lot of the websites are also kind of old and don't have up-to-date information, so just making sure that you can provide the most up-to-date source would be vital in increasing our access to vulnerability data.
Thank you. I'm just going to ask as a general one, because I know we're wrapping up for time, and I'm being, the indication has come. Just looking, and this is to all of you, I'm going to say give yourself sort of like a 20-second blast at the end. If we had to, if the world was your oyster and you had enough resources to be able to collect it, and I'm looking at this from the academic perspective before we start moving on to, the implementation and contribution to policy. If you had all the resources, I want to say if I gave you $1 million, what would you do first in your respective disciplines? I'll start with you. Go on then, Kangu, go on.
So if I had $1 million, well,
yes.
I think the first thing would be to collect more LiDAR data.
Yes.
Luckily that Canada has its own share of all the LiDAR data across the country, but this is not always up to date because of, again, the resources. And I think with now the advancements in technology, $1 million can go a long way in expanding that LiDAR coverage, not only in Canada, but for also other countries, like, for example, the Caribbean, for countries in South America, or even in Africa and other countries. And it's able to cover these large areas and without having to take as many resources as it used to be. And that we have a lot of new models now and a lot of research into it that we could already predict a lot of new variables that will be useful for climate change. It's just that we need to have all this LiDAR data available. So.
Wonderful, thank you. On to you then, Andrew. You've got $1 million. What are you going to do with it?
Hello, yeah. $1 million I don't think goes as far as people think it would in research, but
I was waiting for somebody to tell me it's not enough.
but if we did
Go
have
on.
that sort of funding, we would definitely use it to have faster servers and more powerful computers able to churn out more powerful models. And we would also love to sparse through as large as you can get of data sets and variables, so you can look across hundreds, thousands of different factors that all could have effects on the vulnerability and resiliencies of different states. So that takes a lot of computing time and power, and really isolating those key variables is what we would try to do.
Thank you. Kayan,
Yeah.
tell me, what would you do
$1
with it?
million. Okay, in my capacity as a teacher for across different programs, I think perhaps I would want to find ways to increase the students' capacity to focus on what it is that could be achieved in the profession they choose. If they want to be a chef, how can they be more sustainable? What type of innovations would they focus on, and doing the research in that, so investing in that. Or if they are a nurse, what are the things they see in the nursing industry that could work towards being more sustainable and investing in that. So yes, the $1 million is just nowhere near enough, but sorry, but it's a start. And
But
yeah,
the
you
ideas
have,
are there. The ideas are there. That's the concept. The ideas are there.
Yeah.
So you would look at how you would be building sustainability
And
into
yeah,
respective
yeah.
professions. Excellent.
Yes.
Yes. Thank you. Jose.
Okay, so my research agenda is to, how do I put it? It is to put a human face to the science of climate change. So it is not the jargons we discuss, quote and unquote, in the lab and the likes, but what is the human implication of this for the ordinary person on the streets? That's my goal. And then, that's the motivation for the work I do on geoengineering, to say that outside discussing this concept from a top-down approach, whereby policymakers decide what to do, communities decide what to do, scientists decide on the kind of research they want to do, and then infuse that into the community. It is rather should be a participatory governance kind of approach, whereby the communities are the one deciding on what the research priorities should be. So for me, it is increasing agency as relating to this, and increasing awareness as into sensitive climate issues that the global south is not involved, right? One way or the other, because in most cases we are not aware, both in the academia as well as outside the academia. So increasing this agency, creating workshops and seminars series for this awareness to come up within the social sciences, within governance, within community people, participants, that would be my agenda.
Wonderful. So you'd like that combined approach. Well, let the communities sort of dictate a little bit more about what they would want to see your research achieving. That would be great. And final, last but not least, Zilong, what would you spend your $1 million on?
I feel I'm the only thing between you and the lunch. And actually, our lab has already submitted a proposal. So in the yeah.
I don't have the actual million. It's a hypothetical.
Yeah, it's not
but
1 million. It's 150K. So the maximum we can apply for it.
I'm loving the pitch.
Yeah. And,
Good on you.
Actually, I find that the community of climate change now has recognized the importance of data sets. So we propose this, we submitted this proposal to the Climate Change AI organization, and they ask every proposal to deliver a data set. Because there's no doubt in the community that we need to use AI to help us to tackle the climate change
Yep.
tasks, many tasks. But now the problem is that there are many AI models available from the from computer science community, and from the large language model like ChatGPT. I guess many of you are using it. But the problem is that in order to get the magic out of the model, you need to have high quality data. You have to have annotations. Without annotation, the big geospatial data is nothing. You need to have the key. You need to have the data to guide the model, to let the model learn something from it. So this is the process the AI model can learn something, some knowledge, something we want it to generate for us. So I think that's, if I have this proposal being approved, we are going to spend time to collecting high quality data for wildfire analysis, including the two tasks I mentioned in my presentation, burn area detection as well as carbon emission. So that's
wonderful. I'd like to say to you, thank you all. I think we've had some excellent takeaways from there, and I'd love to invite you all to give our panel a final round of applause. Thank you.